how much of a visionary you were. And now our wonderful program stands on such a wealth of research and evidence, and we have the Touch Institute, and we have all this wonderful theory that backs up the work that we do. But when you first created the program, really even attachment theory was very, very young. So I just wondered, as a visionary, what made you kind of aware of the importance that infant massage could have?
I guess I really started thinking about it when I was in India. I was only 21 years old, but I was working at this orphanage, and I got to see a baby being massaged, and then I got to learn the massage and massage her. And I started noticing that children, they were so different from children here. They were just always touching each other. They're always walking around hand in hand or with their arms wrapped around each other. And, you would see a little 7-year-old boy with a baby on his hip, walking around. And it just started, that's when I started thinking about it, how cool it was. Yeah. But I really didn't have any plans until later. And it was during my first pregnancy, actually, that I read Touching. And that's what did it for me. Yeah. Everything Montague said in there was just like a light bulb. It was like, oh yeah. And it was all about mice, it was all about mice for the most part. Yeah. And, it showed when they were touched and cuddled, that they would grow, they'd be bigger and fatter and happier and fluffier. And I just connected those two things. I was like, well, okay, I'm going to massage my baby. I made that decision. And so when I had my baby, and I started massaging him right away, and it was just amazing. During that year, Doctors Kennel and Klaus came out with their studies on bonding. They kind of created the idea of bonding, and bonding having certain elements to it. And there was really an explosion right then of interest. There was Birth Without Violence, and there's just so much interest in birth, and that continued with bonding. And I was just we didn't have computers or phones or anything like that, but I spent so much time in the medical library, and I was looking up study after study after study, and I was finding out about these people, and I just was totally thrilled to read about Kennel and Klaus's ideas about bonding, because I was like, okay, every single one of those elements is in the massage. Yeah. And people don't know this. What? And I started looking around, and nobody was doing it. It wasn't. It just, I remember I discussed it with my sister. I was just going on and on about how wonderful it was for my baby, and that I had developed a routine that was different from what I learned in India, from being massaged here, from knowing about reflexology, and being a yoga teacher. All those things came together, and I developed the colic relief routine. I did that with, he was colicky, screaming hours and hours. And so I started using this on him, and within 2 weeks he was fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was talking to my sister, and she said, well, why don't you teach it? You always teach everything that you come across that you like. you end up teaching other people. So why don't you? I thought, oh, maybe I should. So I just wrote it all down, and started teaching other mothers at that time. We were very poor. I'd have 5 moms and their babies come into my living room, you know, and I would teach them. I just, you know, went from there. And I had no idea it would be what it is right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you told me, I would have probably laughed. Yeah, right.
I love that that's always what it comes back to. You know, just you can take every class that goes now, almost goes back to those 5 families in your living room, learning the same program that we're doing now. And just as an instructor, it's just the most wonderful thing to watch unfold, just that relationship between the parent and their baby, just by touching, just as you say, by our program containing almost accidentally every single element of bonding. It's all in
exactly.
Just see it, and it's exactly. It gives me goosebumps every time.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. I got them right now, actually.
Yeah, I do. Every time I say.
And I continue to learn. You know, my classes got really big. We moved into a big house, and my classes got really big. And over the next probably 6 months or a year, just about every type of mother-baby situation came to my classes. I had premature babies. I had babies with developmental disabilities. I had colicky babies. I mean, it just, everything. I learned so much. And that's, you know, that's, my book came out of that.
Yeah. That's the best way to learn, isn't it? Just to see it.
I just, you know, it's, you know, a lot of it was anecdotal back then because we didn't have any studies.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that Cherry came up with the stuff with premature babies.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the conversation. That was wonderful. Yeah. I did work during that first year. I worked in a hospital with premature babies, and I taught their parents. I didn't massage those babies, and they let me.
Yeah.
And I also, my children's pediatrician, who happened to be the president of the American Academy of Pediatrics, he said he would refer people with colicky babies to me for instruction.
Yeah.
And that happened. And I would go to their houses, and I wouldn't let them do the whole massage until they had that colic relief routine down, probably in through 3 weeks. And then the 4th week, I'd show them the whole thing.
Yeah.
And every single time, I was just, I'd come out, I'd cry driving home.
Yeah.
Because I'd go from a mother saying, my baby just doesn't like me.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't even know what to do. And it's so detached, and you could see it that this was not good. And then by the time we got through 3 weeks, on the 3rd week, I would see it, the bonding would happen. You would see them connecting eye to eye, and smiling and reaching out to each other, and the massage went beautifully. And You know, I don't know, from an early age, I was really drawn to humanitarian service. And that's what I had been doing since I got out of high school, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt about infant massage. I kind of wanted it to be like La Leche League, frankly. But, you know, when we got to that point, and Audrey, I'd had a bunch of talks with Audrey after I'd trained some instructors, and she seemed to have it all together in terms of organization. So I just let her take the lead in that, and that's, you know, how we got what we have. Because I would have, you know, I just didn't have that. It wasn't that I didn't have the skills. It was that I just didn't have the thing for organizations.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a CEO of anything. You know, I just, you know, training instructors was good. I liked it. I mean, teaching parents was my thing.
Yeah.
And I never had, I had a desire that infant massage should be something that every single parent does, just automatically. That was my vision. That's always been my vision, you know, to have that as a part of what people just accept. Like in India, people accept, and they pass it down through their families, and it's just what they do. And that was my vision. I didn't know how to get there, so I just followed whatever, you know, dragging me along toward that.
And here we are.
So, you know, I always hate to say it, but, you know, my goal was to put us all out of business.
Yeah, I think I heard you say that recently, and agreed, and did a similar public post on that. I'm saying, ideally, I want to be out of a job. You know, then we've reached our mission. Absolutely, and what a wonderful thing if it was just instinctive, as it is culturally in so many places, and traditional, to just massage your baby.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, talking about the bonding as well, it's certainly my main area of interest to work with families who have had a difficult or a delayed start. Because, you know, you see it even with the best of relationships, but when you're working with those families, exactly, you know, that kind of week 3 realization where you just see them slow down and that connection.
Exactly. They start getting it.
You can't beat that. And one of my favorite things with the IAIM is, even with our trainers, you know, we still work with families. You know, that's part of our role, that we never lose sight of that at the core of everything that we do, and what
exactly,
so that we can learn from that and reflect from that. So yeah,
I'm so proud of everybody who's, you know, all the trainers who have put the organization together through the years. It's like, wow.
Amazing. So what are we now in over 70 countries, 75 countries? I think we have a presence worldwide. So yeah, it's an amazing vision, and
it's pretty cool.
Like that, yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool.
And it's still going to take us a long time.
Yeah.
Long after I'm gone, it'll still be, you know, it'll take a long time to get it to the point where we want it to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, but we'll keep going and keep pushing forward with that.
What happens there with Infant Mental Health Week?
It's really about raising awareness. Nothing. Usually, there's big events and talks, which obviously aren't really taking place this time. We are working. We as Connected Babies, but also on behalf of the IAIM, are working with a company called Parent Infant Foundation, and they have a campaign called the 1001 Critical Days. Obviously, that being the most important time in a child's life to growth development and for those healthy attachments. So we've been working with them to promote the work that we do and link it to why it's so important to infant mental health. So, you know, they are a big organisation who are also trying to promote this through government and through health services. It's a long going battle, but and it often swings with the government, as I'm sure you're aware. So at the moment we're with a Conservative government who are less inclined to keep our services going, where they're free, for example, for the more vulnerable families, and then it swings around. So so always trying to campaign to keep it in the forefront, really, and to make parents aware as well. You know, that it's, you know, that babies can feel and think, and how important these early connections are, and these basically, so it's mostly about awareness, but obviously we fit in so perfectly with infant mental health. This was my next question, really. I wondered why you feel, probably covered this, but why you feel infant massage is so beneficial for infant mental health.
Oh my gosh. From everything that I've read and observed, bonding is the key to everything. And if you can continue that process over months and months, babies, they're different. It gives them a security and a sense of themselves and being loved deeper than any other thing could give them.
Yeah.
And that's what mental health is all about, basically. You know, it's feeling secure, feeling loved.
Yeah.
Because if you feel secure and loved, then you give love. You look for love. You want to love. And you're happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's a big question. I think we could probably talk for hours on it. But,
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's that imitation, isn't it? Which again is such a wonderful part of infant massage. You know, if we respond to babies' cues and we work with them and we value and respect them and hear them, then they feel those things, and then they're more likely to be giving those things in their own relationships in later life, or like to be compassionate and have empathy. Yeah. So
well, I've lived long enough. Well, I can see my own kids and how they are. I mean, they're in their 40s and they're just incredible people. They're very secure and they have wonderful marriages and families. You know, I just feel so proud every time I'm with them. I'm like, wow, it worked.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I've also been able to hear from other. In fact, I just got a note from someone a few days ago, a letter from someone who had a premature baby back in the 80s. And she's going on and on about how wonderful he is now, and he's this beautiful person, and he had all these accomplishments. And she was just, she wanted to make sure that I knew. So
that's wonderful.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, must be so touched to get that.
Yeah. It's nice. Because it's been so long since I've been able to teach. And it's I just start wondering, okay, is it still like relevant? What's happening out there?
It's more relevant now than it may have been when you first started teaching it, I imagine. Well, that's how it feels in this world, with so many different things going on all over the world, and just separation and priorities, and you just think I feel it's as important, if not more important, I imagine, than it ever was. So.
Oh yeah. Well,
That's
you
my
know, I've always thought since this whole virus thing started happening that, boy, this is a great time for parents to learn to massage their babies.
yeah.
If they have a baby, you know, they don't have to go to work. They don't have time, you know. This is such a perfect time.
Yeah.
Um,
It certainly helped some of the families that I was teaching, and then we had to stop, and just helping them to gain that understanding that actually, you know, because they're worrying about their babies, you know, not seeing other babies, not being out there, not being told by
right.
other people, and just that reassurance that they are their secure base. And if they have a healthy, strong attachment with you as a parent, then they're going to have, you know, healthy attachments and strong relationships with other people. And they'll
That's right.
find out
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
everything, and that it's okay, and it's hard, but it's okay, and your babies are loving it.
absolutely. You know, I mean, that, you know, is the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think they need to worry about their babies having contact with other people,
No.
because if they can massage them every day, and it brings them into an awareness of their baby's cues and their baby's just being, and you know, they're just in a dance together.
Yeah.
They'll be fine, you know.
Yeah.
Once they're able to go out, they'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like they're going to just freak out when they see other people.
Yeah. Temporarily, yeah, but they will. They'll still be confident and independent.
Exactly.
They've had that secure attachment as babies, so
Yeah.
that's interesting. Talking about the global pandemic, which some of us filming this we are living in the corona pandemic, and I wondered, I think you've kind of just given the answer, just to massage really, but if you had any advice for parents and babies who are living in lockdown right now.
Yeah, I would, yeah, massage your baby, learn how, and massage your babies every single day, because it's going to bring so much peace and love into your life that it won't matter to you. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time. It's been a lot of years since I started this whole thing. And I'm so happy and proud of all of our instructors who are so dedicated, and nothing has been lost in translation. It's amazing to me that at this point, it's still the way I wanted it to be. And I just want to send my love and my pride out, you know, to everybody. Keep going. You know, we need to get this into our cultures, and it's going to take a lot of work still to do that. But that's my vision, and I want everybody to make my vision happen. So that's about it.
Thank you.